So in the last video, we used a technique with our brushes called push and glide, where we put the ink down and kind of pushed it out to the edges. So for this lesson, I want to show you another technique that I call dabbing. And when you dab, you just take your brush, put ink in it, and press it to the paper. I wanted to also introduce you to Pinata inks. They're very intense, beautiful colors. They don't have as much alcohol as the Rangers. So let's first look at dabbing. So I've got Baja Blue Pinata in my palette, and all I'm doing is pressing and letting go. That's dabbing. That's all it is, just press and release. You could make a solid area. So what about different brushes? This one is called a spotter, and it has a very pointy tip on the dab. This is a round brush, and it doesn't look very much different. It's a little bit rounder on the top, but is it going to make any difference when you're dabbing? Probably not. And this one's called a cat's tongue, or a filbert, and it has a definite difference in the shape, but I don't think it's going to make any difference when you dab in an area what the shape of your brush is. So now let's look at a Ranger ink. This one is called Clover. When we dab, it just has more alcohol in it, so it goes a little bit farther. But again, dabbing is just pressing and letting go, and it makes some nice textures. Now we could put the Ranger Clover on top of the Baja Blue, and you'll see you're actually looking through the green to the dark blue below. Kind of neat. So this demonstration, I'm going to show you almost all of the Pinata colors and a very, very vibrant pear. Start with a drawing of a pear on a half sheet of Yupo paper. The left side will be light and the right will be dark. We're going to dab our colors, keeping the lights and darks, and the lights and darks are more important than the colors themselves. So start out with the Sunbright Yellow. You're going to put some color in your palette, and this is the side where the light's going to be shining. You're going to leave a little bit of white, but just press by dabbing the color, and leave a little white here too. So all the areas that are lightest, dab that in, and then we kind of want like a little bit of a shoulder here. So all I'm doing is just pressing the ink. Okay, then the next color we'll go to is Tangerine. And Tangerine's a nice orange. Now I have a little bit of yellow in my brush. I'm going to leave that in there. And I pick up some Tangerine. Continue to dab your paint, and the shape of the brush does affect the shape of the mark that's put down on the paper. Because this is the light side, this is the dark side. Take a little bit more of that calabaza. Put a little bit of this green on top of it. As the colors are dabbed on, they don't go very far. The Pinatas have less alcohol and lots of dye, but it doesn't really matter where you put them as long as you get your lights and shadows right. So dabbing a little bit of Baja Blue here. Really pretty color. It's kind of fun because it almost brings light to the places where you put the Baja Blue. And you can layer it on top and that brings out some more of that blue. Next is Sapphire, and it's kind of like the Ranger Indigo but without the copper. And of the colors we're using, it's the deepest color we've got. When we apply the Sapphire on top of others, it really gets dark. Senorita Margarita is a really vibrant pink, and that's pretty fun to add in here. Our darks on the shadow side are really looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit more sangria. I want my greens a little bit darker, so let's add some rainforest in here. And you can see that you can layer on top of the other colors that are already there. And you get multiple layers of color. That yellow is so bright, I want to add a little bit of the lime green and some of the alcohol that's dirty in my cup and put a layer on top to tone down that yellow. Yes, that's working. I love that we can layer on top of the inks. That yellow is dry, so the lime green that we're putting on top is not activating it. I think the piñatas have a characteristic where they're really dry and they're hard to activate once they do dry. So looking over this section in the middle looks really muddy to me. So I'm going to grab some more ink, a little Santa Fe red, add another layer, and that really keeps that from being all muddied up. Again, just dabbing to apply. And then a little bit of shadow on this side, on the inside of the pear with that Santa Fe red. And then we'll put a little bit up on top where the stem is coming in. So in the next lesson, we'll add the background to this very vibrant pear. And I hope you take some time to work on this project.